Hi, and welcome to the challenges businesses face. And in this particular episode, we're going to talk about managing those resources and managing for profit. So don't go anywhere. Hi and welcome, and look, I'm with John Hardy, and we're talking about the challenges businesses face. John, this is a cracker. What's this one, John?
This is about how we manage resources and get clarity in that space. Now, we're going to talk about this, and I think I'm going to stretch the way you view this whole dynamic in this great series that we're doing about managing the challenges that businesses face that I know, because these are the kind of questions that my clients have asked me. And how do we do this, John?
Yeah.
So how do we manage resources? Or finding the resources. It's really an interesting question to actually ask. And I'm talking about anything as a resource for your business. How do we actually find them? And that can be staff. It can be product, It can be a building, it can be services that you need. How do we go about doing that in business? And I think this is part of when we in business actually understand what it is that we know we're about. So what is our main game?
Back to that old chestnut.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, this is what gets us distracted, is when we want to manage all these resources and we think it's all our responsibility. I've heard this in this last week twice. I micromanage is what these people have said to me. I'm involved in everything, I'm doing everything, I know everything, and it's scaring me because I am way too overwhelmed by what's going on in my world, is because they think they are the resource. And this is what we do to ourselves as business owners and business operators, is we think we're the answer to everything, and that's where we trip ourselves up. We work the 80, 100 hours a week. We don't see our wife or our children. We don't take holidays because we think we're too important. Our health runs down because we haven't answered this question: how can I find the resources that I need for my business to do this really important principle? And you'll hear me say this often: less is more. And you think more equals more abundance, profitability, riches. And sorry, you are fooling yourself. You really are fooling yourself that more equals much, 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 much more. It does not. It actually means much, 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 much less.
It really is focusing on one of the things that I know from talking with yourself, and one of the principles, I was always taught that once you know what your business is about very, very succinctly, and when I mean succinctly, it is in 25 words or less, get it down to that, then you can identify what I was taught was critical resources. So you have enough resources in those critical areas. They're the bits that I do. The rest are peripheral. All of a sudden that'll reduce your workload.
Absolutely.
But when you can look at the critical resources, and I think this is one of the things you talk about, John, is then you go, okay, they're the chunks. What do I really have to do, and what can I get rid of?
So a great way to do this is to get the YouTube video, Big Rocks. So YouTube, type that in and watch the video on Big Rocks. And you will understand exactly what I'm talking about as far as finding the resources that you need to do. And there is ways in which our world operates. And oftentimes when we do it the wrong way round, when you watch the video, you will know what I mean. We do it the wrong way round and nothing fits. And we seem to have, how does this all go together? But when you get and understand the Big Rock principle and get it right, you will see that everything fits in its place in the right way, and you know where you need to put your energy into. And you will see that the principle of Big Rocks, less does equal more, and the business becomes much more holistic, much more whole, much more effective, because it then impacts that if you do this, your senior staff do this or any member of your organization does this in the same way in their area of responsibility, they know their big rock dynamics and they do it really well, you'll find flourish, profitability, joy, effectiveness, confidence, and you're working much better. So I had a client ask me, John, how do I develop my business? And I'm working 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning most nights. So I found a resource that could help him.
Yeah.
And all it was record what you're doing every day. And within a month, he was working 9 to 5 and no more doing excessive hours. I mean, he'd play around at home because he'd been in that habit. I'm trying to wean him off that as well to really do the work in that space and then release the rest of his life to enjoy. So that was a time management resource. Another resource could be, I've got a client that wants to bring some business people in from England into Australia to grow her business.
Yeah.
So it's a resource. This one is a human resource. I've got other clients that are struggling with HR. So I have a HR resource that I can bring into the room. And so this is what the power of understanding what is the resource that I actually need to make sure the main game that I'm about, the main game my business is about, is really staying focused and staying clear and staying on message. Because we do it all the time. We get off message all the time and we drift away.
And I've actually done some interviews like that, John.
People drift, and I know it works because I ask people, what do you want from me? Oh, I need clarity. I need focus. I need accountability. They're my big 3 words, and I hear them being asked of me. Nearly every client that I engage with in some form or another are saying those are such important things for us to get a hold of.
Isn't it fascinating, and I'm always fascinated by this, that when you have a coach in the room and the coach sits there and they go, because I can now vocalize this out in actual, and I've got to try and explain it to you because you don't know it, all of a sudden the answers start to click in place.
Oh, absolutely.
So these resources, you said a very interesting thing then. I know we're short on time for everyone watching, but you said where you put your energies.
Absolutely.
And I thought that was a key takeaway for this particular thing. We're talking about resources, choosing where you're going to put your energies.
And let me answer that question, that statement. It's exactly what my coach did for me. Did analysis on my business and asked me, John, where do you get your energy from? I'm clear, I know where I'm going. That's why I've outsourced the way I have. And I am free and flourishing. And I'm excited about my future and the potential that my business has and the potential that I have because I'm doing less. And it's so good, and I know what I'm going to do,
and he's getting
and where
paid
I'm
more.
going to. And I am getting paid more, and it really is great fun. So it's it's a delight to be able to talk about this conversation with you about how you find resources into your world to answer the challenges that you experience in business.
It's been great bringing this series. It is a series on the challenges business owners face. This one is how you deal with resources.
Yes.
Absolutely sensational. I'm Michael Worthington.
I'm John Hardy.
And it's been an absolute delight. John's got a great saying. What's that saying for your business, John?
My motto is this: climb the mountain, see the view. That's what Peak Consulting is all about. That's what my coaching is all about. Climb the mountain, see the view.